We're shipping Father's Day gifts with a rapid-fire round of questions. Ready?
Yes, my gift. Can you pack it?
Yep.
Ship it.
Yes.
Guarantee it.
Of course.
Oh, send a set of golf clubs.
Oh, hole in one.
Protect electronics. Dog-proof it. Return it if they hate it.
Yes, no, and yeah.
Are you the UPS store?
Hey, we have a winner!
Visit the upsstore.com/guarantee for full details. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Visit a store today.
Lowe's knows to bring your vision to life, it's important to find the right color. That's why MyLowe's Rewards members get a free paint or exterior stain sample to test your look and find the perfect color to confidently refresh your space. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid in-store only 6/19 through 6/25. Limit 1 per customer while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See associate for details. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today, we have a special guest.
Graham and Tori Ferreira.
Hey. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So exciting.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yes, definitely. So I love always going back to the beginning. I always say that the beginning, like the things that we are like our habits kind of stick with us and kind of chart our trajectory of where we're going in life. So tell me a little bit about, your childhood and, how did you kind of find your way into music after that?
Not here.
Start here.
Very beginning.
I'm the then part. So that's where it started. As I said, well, she's my daughter, so we're father and daughter combination.
I love that.
So yeah, it started when I sprained my ankle very badly when I was 5 years old, and the doctor told me I had to go and do ballet. And all I wanted to do was play football. However, I ended up doing ballet and then ended up doing tap and then ended up doing musical comedy. And by the time I was 6, I was in our Stepfords and all over the show. And yeah, I've been on the stage ever since. And I mean, I played musical instruments, sort of, first of all, quite badly, and but if you keep at it for 20 or 30 years, you get better. Right. So now I sort of play reasonably well. And in my youth, we had pure rock and roll bands. I mean, we were big Beatles fans, but I've always had a very soft spot for country and Western, sort of. One of my great, great, great idols was Dolly Parton. I mean, I just thought, besides being absolutely gorgeous, I just thought she's just so talented in not just her singing, but in everything she does. She's just an extraordinarily talented person. And so I followed her career quite avidly. And I started writing music when I was in my early 20s. I lived in Cape Town. And the heart of Cape Town entertainment is a place called Long Street. And it's sort of like the Basin Street of Cape Town, it's nice. So everybody goes there for music and all that. So I started playing on my own in various things. Then I started writing my own songs. And then I got tied up in various other things and various other occupations and business and all that. When Tori was born, I gave her a guitar when she was about 3 years old. I mean, the guitar was bigger than she was. I used to have to persuade her not to use it as a rocking horse, you see. But anyway, so then she started playing, and she grew up with music. So as she got older, she started playing in her own groups, and her music went a very different way to mine. I started telling stories, so I was always sort of very sort of leaning towards sort of folk and R&B. And country and Western, that type of thing. And Tori was sort of going the other end of the spectrum with
Rock, punk,
yeah.
kind of direction.
I love that.
And so it went. And I mean, we all played in various bands and had various projects, which some have been more successful than others. That's the way it goes. But about 4 years ago, we decided that, it's about time we actually put our talents together.
Yeah.
Because, and I've always wanted to write for Tori's voice, because she's got a really, really nice voice, I believe. And I think you'll agree with me when you listen to some of the stuff she does. And so I wanted to really write stuff for her, and that's when we started. And so we got together, and the name Then and Now just sort of came about because, it always, we originally, we used to play together, like at birthday parties and occasions. And so we thought that we would call our band Now and Then.
Love that.
But then we started playing more regularly. So we can't call it Now and Then. So we decided we called it Then and Now, obviously because of the age difference that we have. And then we brought in our third and very, very important member of the band. And our core band is the three of us, plus our drummer. And of course, we've got an amazing bass guitarist, and a really, really nice bass guitarist. I mean, he's the sort of Chili Peppers boy. And then we've also got a classical flautist who played in symphony orchestras and all that sort of thing.
Nice.
So we slowly, I've always wanted to have a sound, so that when people put the radio on and they hear literally 15 seconds of us, they say, that's Then and Now.
Yeah.
So I want to. So I was looking for that very different sound.
Yeah.
And that's why we put all the different instruments together. And look, I think we have produced some really different sounds. And we've just started. It's just the beginning of our journey. I mean, we've done 2 albums. This is our second album. Our first album was very country and western.
I think now we've quite successfully fused together our roots in music as well.
Yes.
So more of that from my side, that rock, metal, edge to it.
Yeah.
Classic country. Now we really have found a middle ground.
Yeah.
We weren't
I love that.
And the singing cowboys. So we obviously have moved. But I've got such a sort of a strong leaning towards old traditional country and western that if you look at my writing, it tells stories all the time. I'm telling stories. I'm just not throwing out words. That each line has got a story to tell.
Right.
And that's really where we're at the moment.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's beautiful. And I love that. I think that's you have a beautiful bond, and it's beautiful to like just to see and to watch, and that you're creating the music. I love that. That's so sweet. So for me, like I listened to the song and I loved it. But I'm just so curious about like that process of making, the song and like what was like, okay, yes, let's make this. This is going to be the single. I really loved it. It was different, and the message in it was very different too. I think I was just shocked. I was like, this is different.
Yeah.
Look, our album. It was incredibly difficult for us to choose a song.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we wrote one song and then said, let's build an album around that.
Yeah.
We really battled to choose, and I think we've got about at least 4 of our tracks are at least as good as that. But people argue some of them are even better, so but that particular track was quite interesting. We've done all sorts of things. We've done Tex-Mex in this album, and we've done some really hot rhythm and blues. We've done some straight rock and roll with sort of, with Chuck Berry and that sort of type stuff. And so it's an eclectic mix of styles. And I was sitting with our lead guitarist, and he was messing around, and he said, and he was playing he was playing a reggae riff, and I said, wow, that's the one thing we haven't got. We haven't got reggae in this. We've got to have reggae. So listen to that riff. It's very reggae. So it's got a really sort of you won't say that's straight reggae, not, but it's definitely got little reggae content.
Yeah.
So that, and then the words as well. I mean, you know, the story really is that, I mean, I've known several women who are exactly like this. You can't make up your mind whether they're angels or devils. I'm quite sure it's the same about me, but or maybe there's no other devil. But the thing is that, you know, that one minute they are really sweet, and the next they're bloody horrible. It's like a little girl who had a curl in the middle of her forehead. When she was good, she was very, very good, and when she was bad, she was horrid. You know,
right?
So it's and then, but at the end, right at the end, the last, although she's done these terrible things to me, I say that the lines go that she's my angel down from heaven, and she knows she's understood, and she's talking about the angels. They ain't always sweet and good. So that's how it ties back up. So everybody's got this side and that side, you know. It's
absolutely like that. That's so true. Every relationship you get into, it's like, you know, it's not always, no one's always just internally good. Everyone has that like ups and downs. So, and that's real. I think that's super relatable.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's probably why we decided to go with that as a single, because from my side, it was probably the most catchy hook of our album. I love the chorus. It just rips into your head, and so does that flute, that little like ditty in between.
Oh yeah, yes.
It does. It always gets in my head. So I thought, okay, that's for me as the single, because it's the catchiest, you know.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting if you sort of break that song down, because it's got, as I said, it's got a definitely it starts off with a clear riff. It's reggae, and you could expect Bob Marley to start singing, you know. And then all of a sudden it goes with the flute. And that flute is actually taken, the inspiration of that flute is a classical piece that has flute in it, and it's got not the same riff, but I gave us an idea, and that's because the lady that plays the flute is classically trained. Nice. And I mean, she played in philharmonic orchestras and so on. So immediately she said, "Well, put something with that." So that's I think. And then we go to Mark's lead guitar solo, and it's almost a little bit of sort of bluesy, sort of, you know, sort of almost pop rock blues.
Yeah.
And then it
flirty
goes,
and playful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to, but when she comes to me at midnight, I don't care what they say, angel or a devil, I love her anyway. You know, so that's
I think that song specifically is a good sort of what's the word, dipstick for our entire offering, in a sense. It's got a little bit of everything. It's, you know, while it's a reggae based kind of song, it's still very fusion. It's still incredibly fusion. It's still so country. It's still so rock blues. It's got a bit of everything in it. So while we've got other, like our other song on our album, Lady Luck, is probably my favorite song on the album, because it's just such a jam. It's just it's so awesome. But it's so Tex-Mex and so hot Tex-Mex that we were thinking, okay, like if we put that out, people are going to come running to us thinking that that's what we play. And it's like, no, that was just the one song.
Right.
I mean, even when we went into the studio, we sort of didn't have this idea. And in the studio, we were using a keyboard behind. And in the studio, we got a very good producer, and he said to us, no. So you've got to have a trumpet in this. We got to have Tijuana brass here, you know.
Wow, that's amazing.
So and we put a trumpet in it, and it's really amazing. So and then we thought, well, I'm not going to pay the guy to go to the studio for one number, so he's got to do another one. And one of the songs that we do, it's our only cover
that we've ever recorded.
It's the only cover we've recorded. And it's that Bobby Bear song, Tequila Sheila, pour me another tequila Sheila. and that's Tex-Mex, because as I crossed the border and I beat the dealer for all the damn gold in Juarez, you know. So we thought, well, okay, while you're here, just put a trumpet on that. And that takes it to a different level completely, you know.
Absolutely. I think that's so fun. So you feel like you're having you're having fun with this album, like the sound and everything.
Yeah, so much fun with this album. I'm such a huge fan of the album because there's just such good work in it from our bandmates. The bass work, the drum work, the flute work, the guitar work. It's just all so good. We're so incredibly lucky and blessed to be backed by such talent. It's incredible. So yeah, I mean, it was incredibly fun working with such competent, amazing musicians to put together something that we can be really proud of, you know.
Look, I mean, in all due respect, I mean, since from the time we started to the band till where we finally got to what we really wanted to sound like, I mean, we had a few sort of failed experiments, make no mistake.
Sure.
And some people would come and play with us for a while and say,
not really,
this is not really our thing. One guy was really good, but it worked out so well because he was a good bassist. But we ended up with the bassist we have now. And if you listen to the bass lines in that song that you listened to, they're really amazing.
It's great.
And the bassist before him said, no, he wanted to work in a slightly more organized band.
Because not something we are.
we are totally disorganized.
I love it.
Sort of a day before we go to the studio, we're still arguing about this and then,
which song we're gonna do.
and then we get to the studio and it sort of all falls together, you know.
I love that. I love it. I think that's great. Do you have like the behind the scenes of you guys in the studio? You got to put that out. That I would love to watch.
Oh yeah, definitely. We got some little things hiding around. On Instagram, we've got some little moments there.
But everybody knows drama when it comes to family business. There's always drama.
Definitely.
Whenever, if Tori and I ever do get into arguments, which you do on occasion, our next guy calls, time out, take 5. You know, that's it. Everybody, leave them alone. Give them a pair of boxing gloves.
I love that. I have a really fun question. I love asking this question. It's always different. If you could be managed by any artist, living or dead, who would you choose and why?
I would choose George Martin of the Beatles without even a shadow of a doubt.
Nice one. I like that.
I'm going to show my age. And she's not necessarily an artist, although she has definitely done art. But I would take Kris Jenner. Please give us Kris Jenner. Manage us any day of the week, any day.
Okay. I mean, she's a great manager.
Okay. Maybe we'd have to put the two of them together.
It's like Kris Jenner.
George Martin, Kris Jenner together. That would be something.
That would be very interesting to see. Definitely. Yeah. I love that. So I love asking this question too. Loyalty. Would you choose, if you could choose only one of these? You only could choose one: loyalty or respect, and why?
Oh, I think from my side, respect is a lot more important. I think loyalty comes as a result of respect. If that makes any sense.
Okay.
I won't be loyal to someone who disrespects me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, no. Look, I hear what you're saying, but I must be honest. I prize loyalty very high.
Yeah.
I suppose it's because I grew up in a different era. I mean, I grew up when, you had the same barber from when I was 12 until I was nearly 50.
Wow.
And so. And you use the same.
You are painfully loyal. That is true.
Yeah,
Yeah, to an
Well, I mean, I'll tell you
extent,
something.
that's
Without
next level.
without my generation, I swear there wouldn't be such a thing as brand loyalty.
Right.
You're a man of habits.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not so much habit. It's a case of that. I think you get emotionally involved with people
Mm-hmm.
when you work with them all the time and you trust them. And I think that's the point. I think that respect for me, if somebody has respect for me, I'm not 100% sure that I automatically can trust them.
Right.
Whereas I think from a loyalty point of view, if they're loyal to me, then I know I can trust them.
Interesting.
And I mean, if you're going to go to war with someone, who do you want? Someone who respects you or someone who trusts you? So I want someone who will dive and take a bullet for me. That's the point. So loyalty, I think. But it's an interesting question.
Yeah, very
I
nice
love
question.
that.
What do most people say as a matter of interest?
Yeah.
A lot of people say loyalty for sure. Like, and I get the respect. I personally think, there's no wrong answer. I think it's an
No. Of
individual
course there
thing.
is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it's
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah. And I love both. I like how you guys both perspectives. Yeah, I love that. I love that. What
Actually, not a lot.
Yeah.
I love it.
Respect me, not be loyal to me first.
Right. What keeps you guys motivated? Because we're in a time where like music is so saturated. I mean, I'm sure music, how it was, in your time versus now, it's completely different. I mean, there's new music and new artists coming out every day. So what keeps you guys motivated?
I think
you answer. You motivate us most of the time.
Okay,
Motivation comes from here.
I'll tell you what motivates me. I'm motivated to be different all the time.
Yeah.
The point of the matter is the one thing I know, and this is where I think we are quite strong, okay? I have tried before to do the same thing over and over, and it gets you so far, and then interest starts to fall off. I think you have to reinvent yourself. And again, I know that I'm banging on about this, but if you listen to She Loves You, yeah, or listen to Revolver, and then listen to the White Album of the Beatles, I mean, it is just so different. And that to me is the key. The key is to be reinventing yourself, to make people say, wow, listen to what he's done now, That doesn't like what he did yesterday. And the other thing that I also want to be different. And again, there's no right or wrong here. I mean, I'm not saying we're better, but I want to be different to other artists. I want to, if somebody switches on the radio and just hears 5 seconds, I want them to be able to say, that's then and now. Not, is that, yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's the challenge and the motivation is to really just keep on coming up with songs that are so different. Like we've got about 20 new songs we're working on. And
wow.
Look, we've probably got 60, 70 songs that we've got in the bag, that we could go to the recording studio with tomorrow. And I do believe one thing is really, really true. If you ever make it big, you better have a lot of material, because otherwise you become a one-hit wonder very, very quickly.
I see. What is making it big to you? That's a good. I'm just curious.
I think recognition. That's where recognition would come in, as recognition of our work.
Yeah.
And if people say, "Wow, that's a really cool band," that's a very good band. And obviously, the more people who are in the industry who say that and who have knowledge about it, because I mean, all our friends think we're really cool, and our parents think, well, my parents don't, but anyway, our sort of close friends and relatives think we're really, you know what I mean? But really, to get the respect of knowledgeable people is really also what motivates me. So that's what I think that I would say I've made it. And also I've got another there's another sort of yardstick. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to play at Carnegie Hall.
Ah.
I also want to play at Royal Albert. I worked out at one stage. But unfortunately, the rand went for a ball, so I couldn't do it. But I was planning to hire the Royal Albert on my own, and just use everything I've got to just do a concert there. Now, first place, because I've been in journalism for years and years, so I know one thing: the fact that there's some crazy man that's hired the Albert on his own is going to be a great story. So that's going to generate an awful lot of publicity, right?
Definitely.
And secondly, I think this is sort of the shame we got to go and support him factor. So, and at the end of the day, if I've got 100 people there, I can still put on my CV. I played at the Royal Albert.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely.
I mean, playing on, okay, so the opposite, almost the opposite end of the spectrum is what he's motivated by is like the really big picture.
Yeah.
And I'm just motivated by spending time with my dad.
I love that. That's beautiful.
That's so soppy, but it's like it's true. I mean, that's what motivates me in the band is like I get to come and be creative with my dad, and we get to spend time together.
Oh, you never told me that.
That's so
but
sweet.
That to me is my biggest motivation that keeps me going, because as you say, it is incredibly saturated. It can be incredibly demotivating sometimes. Country isn't for everyone, even though friends and family love us.
Well, that's why we moved a bit away from pure country.
Yeah.
Audience a little bit.
It's just like, so for me, the creation process is much more important to me than the recognition process. Graham is very motivated on the recognition process, and that's great because we need that.
Yeah.
We need drive to like get us out of our band room and actually to do something with it. From my side, I just really enjoy making music with my dad. I love singing with him. I love performing with him, So that's
we have fun when we perform.
We have so much fun when we perform. So for me, that's my motivation, and it doesn't really matter, anything else, or how far we go, or how successful we are, how big we make it, or anything like that. To me, I've already made it big because I've got recorded albums with my dad.
Absolutely.
That's so cool.
Look, I think that's cool as well. I really do. But as far as the saturation and the difficulty is concerned, I have a saying which and as Tori will tell you, I've said this over and over, guys. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
True story.
Very true.
It takes a lot of perseverance and guts and gall and audacity.
There's nothing easy about it. No. You don't wake up one morning and suddenly you've got a hit. It doesn't work like that, any more than you would know. You wake up one morning and suddenly you're an A-listed film star. You've got to work your way through it,
Oh yeah. It's true.
And look, there is a lot of luck involved, okay? And there's a lot of knowing the right people, no question about that. There's a lot of being in the right place at the right time, luck, okay?
Yeah.
But at the end, it doesn't matter how lucky you are, you have to have two things. You have to have talent and you have to have perseverance.
Yes.
Perseverance also demands a certain degree of discipline, Yes. You can't just live a life of luxury and ease and whatever and expect things to happen. You've got to work at what you do. I mean, I work at our songs all the time. I'm never stopped working at them from the time I wake up. I wake up in the middle of the night and I've got new lines going through my head.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
and early in the morning, and then you.
I'm very. I write best early in the morning. Very early.
Amazing. That's amazing. I totally can resonate, and I feel that because you're right. It is perseverance. It's like watering a seed. Eventually it's going to grow if you continue to water that. I think that now the generation that we live in, it's like everyone wants this microwave success of like, oh, I just want to just like, ta-da,
is.
So true.
You know, I mean, I've been big into photography a lot of my life. And I mean, when I started with photography, you had to go and buy a film, you know, put the film in the camera, take the film, then develop the film, then print the picture, you know. If you get all that process, you found it was out of focus. So you start all over again. Now you pick up the camera, you go bang, and it's not nice. Let's do it again. You know?
Right. I love that. Oh, that's beautiful. I could talk to you guys all day. Literally, it's already 10 minutes left. Oh, this is so crazy.
Wow.
Isn't that it's really fast? What advice would you give, you know, to people that want to like try to start a band?
Like your music.
Yeah.
Don't worry about making stuff that's popular or, you know, that other people will like. If you like your music, then you're gonna sell it, you know. I think that's very, very important. What were you gonna say?
Well, I think that it's really important, and I mean, okay, maybe I'm just echoing myself, so I'm talking in an echo chamber, but I think it's important if you want to start a band. Obviously, we all start doing covers. I mean, that's fine. But you've got to move away from covers as soon as you can. And you've got to start doing your own music. Not just because you're not really going to make it big doing covers, and not just because of that. It's because of the satisfaction. I mean, you've got no idea how satisfying it is, even if it doesn't make it to the top. That record, that track that you heard, I mean, it went from the conception, the writing of the words, the putting it together, the arguing, I want to do this. No, you can't do that. Yes, I can do that because I say I can. And we're a very democratic band, I must be honest, although I might sound like a bit overpowering. I suppose I am sometimes, but most of the time we're very democratic, simply because I could play nearly as well as these other guys can, so I can't tell them what to do. Yeah, that's the advice that I would give some young people is try and create rather than copy. It's good. You know, copying is great, but you know, copying Michelangelo is never going to get you the acclaim and the satisfaction that he got out of painting his paintings.
Right.
Satisfaction you're going to get is going to be when you take your embryo and see it grow and put clothes on it and feed it and then see it become a great person. I've done that already.
I love it. That's great. That's great advice. It's great advice. I love that. Where can people find you guys on social media to follow all of your things that you guys got coming up?
Our Instagram handles at then n now, so it's like 3 N's in a row.
THEN now.
Yeah,
nice.
THENNOW. Yeah. And our TikTok handle. And then we also
Band SA. Like it's then in our Band SA.
Then in our Band SA, yes. And we're also on YouTube. You can just Google if you want to see a lot of our stuff. You can go onto YouTube and Google Then and Now and Aces, Angels, and Devils, which is the name of our album.
Nice.
And then you'll get our whole information tree, and you'll get all our funny little movies and our jokes and our laughters and all that, all on that. Yeah. So YouTube's quite a good place to go if you want to watch.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Then our Angels, Aces, and Devils. Aces, Angels, Devils. Aces, Angels, and Devils. Yeah.
Love that. I love that. Are you guys have anything coming up that you want to announce? Are you working
Well, look, we've got stuff in South Africa coming up.
Nice.
We're going to be playing at a couple of gigs quite shortly. But I think the best is, as I say, just if you want to follow us on YouTube. That's the easiest. And also we have a Facebook page.
Instagram, everything.
Instagram, it's all. If you Google Then and Now and and Aces, Angels, and Devils, you'll get there.
Yes, but nothing. We have no shows locked in this year as of yet. We are currently working on locking in some nice big shows in South Africa
Yeah.
towards
big,
Yeah.
big sort
the
of
beginning of next year. Yeah.
really big concerts and that sort
Yeah.
of thing.
All
But
right.
oh,
But
but
now we've been really focused on just getting this album out.
this
Yeah,
album,
yeah.
and also
Definitely.
a lot of the time a lot of our focus is on the next album, which is going to be called Cowgirls Also Get the Blues.
Yeah, we're very ADHD. So once we've sort of done with something, we're like, oh, what's next? You know,
Yeah,
on to the next album already.
So Cowgirls Also Get the Blues is going to be amazing. She sings the blues like you can't believe, and it's
Oh.
a very bluesy type of album, and like one of the songs that we're going to put on it.
Girl
I wrote. It starts with the line goes, "What makes you think I'm going to cry about you? Don't stop when you get to the door."
I like that. I like that. Well, that's awesome. Congratulations. Really quick, we have like
Thanks.
a couple minutes left. Like something, a saying or a quote that gets you through rough times to leave the people. Anything?
I would.
Good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. Look, I do keep on harping on this thing that if it's not difficult, it probably, I wouldn't say it isn't worth doing, but it's going to be very crowded where you go.
Yeah.
So embrace difficulty.
But say it properly. Say you're saying. Because
if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah, that's
and that I think is the great, and that's whenever we get stuck and we say, it's not working and we're not getting anywhere, and that's my thing.
Yeah.
And just keep going. Just keep going. There's a little song on our album that's called One Step at a Time.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote that for Tori as well, because I said, you can't jump to the mountain. Step by step is how you climb.
Oh, yes. I like that.
One step at a time. That's how you get to the top. One step at a time. The secret is just don't stop.
Oh, I love it. That's beautiful. Love it. Thank you so much. You guys are so beautiful. And congratulations.
Thank you very much.
A lot to talk to.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And thank you so much for listening, everyone. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.